Hey, it's Matt from TPStool.com. I'm going to see if we can help out our friends with some YZ250s today. This is from a 2015 YZ250F. I believe the same part fits 2014 through 2018. There's the part number if you want to double check, make sure it fits yours. So what we want to know is how do you set this up to the original factory values? So Yamaha in their service manual doesn't give you any voltages. They only say use the Yamaha service tool and adjust it to read a certain code. That doesn't help us. We want to know how to set this up using something available on the open market, such as this TPStool.com Pro powered meter. So let's get started. So in the kit's a whole bunch of adapters. We only need the Model 3, which is this one. We're going to connect it this way to the meter. Black and ground, red in feedback, green in 5 volts. Does that focus? Yeah, there we go. We're going to need a 2.5 millimeter Allen key and a 7 millimeter box wrench. And let's get started. So one thing to keep in mind is Yamaha, in their wisdom, use the same exact plug on a throttle position sensor, which is this guy here, as they did on this sensor, which I believe is going to be the map sensor. And you'll see it actually plugs right in. So don't make a mistake of plugging into the wrong thing. I'm going to plug into the TPS over here. Okay, now this came off of, the seller says it came off of a running 2015 YZ250F. So we're going to take it at face value from them that things were set up properly. As best I can tell from the paint, the TPS has not been moved, and the throttle stop screw also, as best I can tell, hasn't been moved either. The paint looks intact. Excuse me. And so the idle screw, this is the idle screw, was set at 45 clicks out. 45 clicks out. So if you want to go back to at least what should be running, turn this in all the way, and then back it out 45 clicks, and that should be at least running. Okay, we're going to turn this on. Okay, so 0.42, 0.426 is where this is set by default. Now again, this is the idle adjustment. You don't adjust this to adjust the idle, okay? Don't mess with that. It looks visually to me like the throttle plate is fully closed. And so I've seen this on Polaris motors. What I believe they're doing is using this screw only to take up the slack. And I expect that when we back this screw out, this reading is not going to change much at all. But let's find out. Let's see what they did. So we're at 0.426 before we start. So let's take a look. We've got our 7 millimeter box wrench. We're going to crack this jam nut open. Yeah, that has not been moved before. Okay. And we're going to now loosen this and watch the numbers. Yep, that's it. They didn't move at all. So I believe what's happening here is going to be the same. So I've loosened the jam nut. I'm not sure if you can see in there. I've loosened the jam nut. It's no longer holding the throttle plate open. And so this is something I've seen, again, on Polaris motors. They use that just to take up any play. And, oh, my memory's gone. Was that 4.42, I think, originally? So what you're going to do if you need to set up your YZ250F, if you messed with the TPS, you want to get back to original, I believe, is you're going to adjust this throttle stop screw only until just before the throttle plate opens. Okay? Just before. You have to look at it. And I tried shining light through it before I started the video. And best I can tell, yeah, that's about it. So adjust it to just before the throttle plate opens, and that takes up the play in this guy here, okay? That takes up the play. And you're going to snug this down. Then you're going to adjust this throttle position sensor to 0.42, or 0.426 is where this one was set. And that should get you really close to in the ballpark for the original setting. From there, you can give it a test ride. It should run. And if you want to adjust the sensor a little bit to fine-tune it, you're just going to loosen these screws and rotate the sensor to set it from that point. Don't mess with that jam nut anymore once you've got it set to where it's just holding the throttle plate open, okay? Treat this like a fuel screw. If it's a little bit rich and burbly, then you're going to turn the voltage down. The voltage goes down. If it's a little lean, you're going to turn it until the voltage is up, and you can make minor adjustments there, and that can really affect the way the bottom end feels. So use it for like a fine-tuning. And if you want to check the sensor itself, keep an eye on the voltage, and you can watch the throttle plate here. I'm going to slowly open the throttle plate to full throttle, and the number should change smoothly. This one's tight. Hurts my fingers. This one's tight. There we go. And so you got all the way up to full throttle, and this one is going to be about 4.5 volts, and back down. And if the numbers change smoothly, then your throttle position sensor itself is good. So there you go. I hope this helps someone. If you've messed with your throttle position sensor, you need to replace it, get back to normal. You just want to make sure your bike's set up right. Yeah, from this one, again, just use this throttle stop screw to take the slack out until just before the throttle plate opens. That's closed. And then you're going to adjust this to, I think, 0.42. And then you should be good to at least be running good. And from there you can fine tune. I hope this helps someone. Please subscribe, leave comments below, and Have a good day.